Welcome back, Funela.
Thanks, Ash.
I am really excited to share this last chapter on
Yep.
reinventing pathways with you.
Yeah.
And I've deliberately not called this as an exit strategy. And reinventing pathways is really important
Mm.
when we find ourselves in an environment which is not which is not serving our highest
Yeah.
values, despite of having trying all the skills,
Mm-hmm.
everything we have discussed about is
Yeah.
just a toxic work culture or
Yeah.
a dysfunctional colleague. And I'm sure you must have been in that kind of situation or supported your
Yes,
clients in that situation where they have done everything
indeed.
and they find themselves. But what is important that when a person is finding themselves in these situations, they've had a good look in themselves, they've seen
Yeah.
what their values were, what their strengths were, they have taken an honest assessment.
Yeah.
Because what we don't want is to run away from the devil and then go into the deep blue sea.
No, absolutely.
We
Yeah.
want to make an honest assessment to see what are the what our values were
Yeah.
which were not served in this particular environment. What was the reason?
Yeah.
Maybe we have taken some external help, some coaching support,
Yeah.
and then we are making an informed decision. And I don't want to come from a position of victimhood, that I'm running away from this place to another place to another place. We see how this environment, because at least the minimum we could say, if we are in a toxic workplace, it has helped us to stand up for ourselves.
Yeah.
It has given an opportunity
Yeah.
to make us be aware of what was important to us,
Yeah.
what was not being served to us.
Yeah.
It has created a sense of heightened awareness.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then when we leave, we also have gratitude for what served us.
Yeah. Yeah. We can have that.
We can have that. And
Absolutely.
then we also have the joy from where we are going,
Yeah.
and we are taking the action. We are taking massive action
Yeah.
to leave that particular environment
Yeah.
and go to a new environment, and we have a nice and soft landing
Yeah.
in the new place. And I have done that in several times in my life, and
Mm-hmm.
it's we made the decision on the gut feeling. The environments were not right,
Mm-hmm.
or people were not right.
Yeah.
And when I look back, I realized that was the most beautiful thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So sometimes your gut feeling will tell you, your intuition will
Yes.
tell you
Yes.
that this thing is not serving you, and you need to go with that.
Yeah.
You need to go with that.
Yeah.
And you will be surprised that when you look back, you will be you will be honoring your struggle
Yeah.
and the choices you made.
Yeah.
And when you look back, you'll look back with gratitude and
Yeah.
joy.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And I suppose it's asking yourself the question sometimes, is it me or is it them? Or the them might be a that, because it might be circumstances, but circumstances that are affecting the culture in your workplace. Maybe it is a them. Maybe there are just people in place in that organization who are not going to be shifting anytime soon and whose values are just so out of alignment with your own or the values that you thought that the organization had. You don't want to stay there. You don't want to keep taking that damage, keep taking that hit. Because however resilient you are, there's only going to be so long you can do that without it causing you harm.
Mhm.
And you want to avoid that moral injury. You don't really want to get to that place. If you do, okay, there is support that you can get. But the other thing, yes, exactly as you say, you don't want to go from the devil to the deep blue sea. You don't want to just have those experiences all over again. Yes, they're learning experiences, but if you've learned well there, you want to try and get into an environment where things are better. And that could be challenging, again, because the proclaimed values of an organization are not necessarily always the lived values. And maybe it's about trying to connect in your networks to people who are in a similar field, trying to just, find out, how is it in this organization? Can you tell me about it? What's been your experience? So there are things that you can do to support yourself. And these are things that you can be looking at during the time that you're taking the decision to leave the unhelpful or damaging environment that you're in.
Yes. Well, Fanila, I think that what is most important is doing an objective analysis, because
Yeah.
sometimes it might be the person.
Yeah.
Sometimes they might realize that what values they have, or what strengths they have, or what personality they have is mismatched with the
Yeah.
environment, and they made
That's
a
true.
wrong choice. Because
Yeah.
if, let's say, for example, like in healthcare today, especially if you're working in the hospital,
Yeah.
you need to be a team player.
Yeah.
You need to have strong communication skills.
Yeah.
You need to have strong interpersonal skills.
Yeah.
But if somebody is an introvert,
Yeah.
somebody lacks that emotional empathy and sensitivity, that person is going to struggle. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong in that. If
Yeah.
somebody is very introverted, they might struggle with being a strong leader, which requires you to connect with a lot of people. So I think, the rather than having this always this us versus them
Hmm.
approach, I think a more realistic approach is required. Whether it is something I need to kind of correct in myself,
Yeah.
in the sense that this environment is not matched with my own values,
Yeah.
and I find something which is more suitable to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you could just have a mismatch. Maybe there isn't any particular kind of abuse that's happening, but maybe the field that you're in, it's just, it's not the right place for you. I mean, I can think about, many, many years ago, I used to be a teacher in a very busy, comprehensive high school, very big high school. I enjoyed my work there, but I know that there were people who I could see were suffering burnout, and actually been in that environment for a long time. There was a point at which I felt, no, I don't want to continue with this. There were some outside factors, there were education cuts, there were changes and reforms that might have been good to have that maybe didn't happen, a lack of resourcing, and you just have to think, I made a choice to come into this for very specific reasons. What's happened with that environment? Is it something I can change? Yeah, you can spend time trying to change things. Um, but at the end of the day, maybe there is somewhere that you can take your skills and you can go and achieve something that's a bit closer to your vision.
Yes.
You can do what you can to take it all on,
Yep.
but yeah, sometimes you need to just think about this. Is this a mismatch for me? Is this just, yeah, not serving me?
And as you see in the illustration in this particular chapter, Funela, that there's a frog which is sitting in the pan,
Yeah,
and then they make a choice. They make that leap,
yeah,
the big leap.
yeah,
And I think making that big leap is very important.
yeah,
And then you see where you are going to land. You
yeah,
have already thought in your mind, you have already strategized it.
yeah,
And then when you land in a new place, you are full of anticipation. You're full
yeah,
of this kind of positivity
yeah,
that you are going to make a fresh start with that new, renewed sense of purpose.
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. And at some point, it was a pretty long leap, and I did a lot of things in between. But I leapt to become a lecturer with the Open University, and actually spent a really happy 5 or 6 years working there. So I wasn't done with working in education, but I needed to take myself into a different environment.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Anything you would like to particularly say to the listeners or the readers, that when they are in that kind of doubt,
yeah,
that maybe uh, sometimes that doubt might be self doubt as well,
yeah,
and they are not able to make that decision
yeah,
about that making that big leap,
yeah.
what could support them in that journey?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you need to think, is there somebody you really trust? Is there somebody who feels like a mentor that you could go and chat to? Um, what is it you're reaching for? Do you need to speak to people who are doing something that looks more like what you would like to do, or they're in an organization that, perhaps it's a different size of organization. It's something that looks like it would be a better fit for you. So reach out, talk to as many people as you can. Sometimes it's good just to spread a really wide net when you're thinking, I need to go and do something else. Whatever this needs to be, it's not it. I need to find something else. So have conversations. if you're having a difficult time at work, you might not always feel like doing that, but try and look for those opportunities. Sure, go and talk to a coach, definitely, absolutely. Go and talk to somebody who will just help you really focus and will support you.
And will give you that external perspective, which is even more,
You need perspective.
which is even more objective.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You
And
need to be able to get that.
and especially if somebody has been living with kind of chronic stress,
Yeah,
this reinventing pathways
yeah,
might be indeed that big leap
yeah.
that would become their next step in transforming stress.
Yeah. And, we've been talking about authenticity, but you can reinvent yourself. That doesn't mean you completely change your values. Your values can remain the same, but how you live out those values, how you present yourself. Look at David Bowie, or Bowie, depending how you want to say it. There's a person who constantly reinvented themselves, reinvented their image. But if you see interviews with Bowie, they've got a very strong sense of who they are in amongst all of that. How they presented themselves to the world constantly changed. And at the root of that was their creativity, which was part of their highest purpose that they were living. So yeah, watch an interview with Bowie if you're thinking about reinventing yourself.
Thank you.
He's the master.
Thank you. Well, Fionnuala, that was really an amazing and a
Yeah,
fascinating insight. Thank you for your sharing these incredible insights at the Transforming Stress with Dr. Ash
amazing.
podcast. And thank you for being part of this journey
Thanks
with
so
me.
much, Ash.
And I would look forward to welcoming in you in our next discussions. And
Fantastic.
till that time, until we meet again.
Till we meet again, Ash.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed today's episode, we'd greatly appreciate it if you could leave a 5-star review, a like, or subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Your support helps us reach more people looking to transform their stress into new comfort. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so don't forget to comment and share. For more tips and updates, please be sure to check out our social media links in the description box below. We can't wait to have you with us next time as we continue this journey towards turning stress into resilience. Remember, it's not the stress itself, but how we rise above it that defines our strength. So stay resilient and keep thriving, and we will see you next time.